Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 5 matchup versus the Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring this preview, by the way. And look, if you guys are new here, by the way, go ahead and subscribe. Also, by the way, I've added 2 new things involving a super chat menu type thing for live streams. Let me know what you guys think of that. And also, my members of the channel will always get a shout out in every video now because I've got the scrolling text on the bottom. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this game. As I said, Thursday night football for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, and it is also their first divisional game of the year. Now, they have 3 divisional games in their next 4 weeks, 2 of which are against the Atlanta Falcons. So you guys know it's going to be one heck of a tough month here upcoming for the Bucs, and it all starts here with Atlanta in Atlanta for Tampa Bay. Look, Atlanta is coming off of a situation where they just won off of a 58-yard field goal against the New Orleans Saints, a team that the Bucs will play here in just a couple of weeks. They've got some good momentum on their side, but so does Tampa Bay. The Bucs are coming off of a dismantling of the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that they beat last year in the playoffs, and overall, the Bucs have looked pretty good this year, okay? And obviously we know that. We've talked about that throughout the entirety of this year. But it's so interesting whenever you think about the expectations of going into this season and how they've kind of flipped in some ways for the Bucs and the Falcons. A lot of people thought that the Falcons were going to win this division and that it was not even going to be close. Whereas a lot of people thought the Buccaneers were going to take a step back. They would maybe be 3rd in the division, battling the Saints for 2nd at the absolute best. But this was far and away the Bucs division to lose. Now, after 1 month throughout the course of the season, you kind of have the reverse. The Bucs, so far, are the clear favorites in the NFC South, and the Falcons and Saints right now are battling for 2nd place. Now, that isn't to say that that is going to very easily continue or anything along those lines, but it is something to consider there, that the Bucs have been overlooked time and time again this season, whereas the Falcons have had a lot of hype in their favor, let's say. And of course, they just brought in Kirk Cousins, they brought in Matthew Judon, they brought in Justin Simmons. The Falcons are very much in a win now mode. Okay, there's no way about it. Okay, they did also draft Michael Penix out of Washington with a top 10 pick. Like, Atlanta has a lot of stuff going on. They hired Raheem Morris, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach in his day. So there's a lot of threads that connect the Falcons and the Bucs. Also, Kirk Cousins had that infamous "you like that" game. That was against Tampa Bay. A lot of people kind of forget what team Kirk Cousins played in that scenario. It was the Bucs. So it will be very interesting to see all the different types of storylines kind of come out here of this game. Raheem Morris looking to maybe get revenge against his old team now that he is a head coach once again in the NFL on a full-time basis. Kirk Cousins has an interesting history when going up against the Buccaneers, although the Bucs did beat Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings last year, and I am going to be just curious to see how all these different types of scenarios and stories play out. For the Bucs, look, they've got a lot of momentum in their favor. Again, not just in terms of dismantling the Falcons, but offensively, defensively, even special teams. They've got some good stuff in their favor. Now, they still have some really tough situations. Kalijah Kancey won't be in this game. Antoine Winfield Jr. won't be in this game. But really, the story of the Bucs this year has been an next man up mentality. And before I dive a little bit deeper into that, I do want to say once again, shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for being the sponsor of this channel. If you guys do use the YouTube code or the promo code YouTube150, you will get a 150% sign up bonus on your first deposit, then 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. All of that combines up to $2,000. Thank you again to BetUS for being a sponsor here on this channel. I do ask that you guys please gamble responsibly. But folks, again, look, there's been so much going on, just hot and cold type of stuff with the Bucs. The pass rush looked great last week. I thought the offensive line held up well. Atlanta's not going to be an easy team. Any division game is never going to be easy. And I really don't know what it is about the NFC South, but like, these games are absolute wars right? It happens with the Saints. It happens with the Panthers to a certain degree. And it happens with the Falcons, where these teams just go absolutely toe-to-toe. And these are the games that matter, right? Ultimately, you want to win your division games. And if the Bucs can start off early here, they can go into Atlanta, by the way, and win a game against Atlanta. Not only do you feel good about playing Atlanta again at home in your own stadium in just a couple of weeks, but really you feel good about the other divisional games as well. Against the Saints in their stadium is not going to be an easy matchup, right? But if you prove to not just other people, but I would say more importantly to yourselves as a football team, as players, that you can go in there, you can compete, you can win against your bitter division rivals in their own stadium, it just continues to build up momentum, right? It does. And I know some people may kind of roll their eyes at stuff like this and say, like, well, if they lose, it's not the end of the world. They're going to be 3-2. But, like, look, this is for if the Falcons win this game, they have first place in the division right now. That just is what it is. They would have the tiebreaker over the Saints. They'd have the tiebreaker over the Bucs. The Falcons would have first place in the division. This game is for first place in the division and really early control of the division. It's a very important game, in my opinion. A very important game. I don't know if it's as important as that Philadelphia Eagles game, but it might be. It might be even more important. In fact, I will say it's more important because it's for control of the division, right? That matters so much. Winning these divisional games, winning against your top tier division rivals, and the Bucs are going to have to prove that they can do just that. So I'm going to be curious to see what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do in this very heated matchup and all the different thoughts and storylines that dive into it. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Again, thank you so much to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for being a sponsor of this channel. It is greatly appreciated. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.